welcome to Lab Down Under. This is hopefully the very first video in a new series. I'm starting basically redirecting the channel from kind of more science communication stuff that I was doing before to debunking pseudoscience and that I've seen around. And in this first video, I thought I'd tackle a topic which I bet a lot of people have already been seeing floating around the internet, which was a recent tweet by rapper Nicki Minaj, basically claiming that her cousin's friend in Trinidad and Tobago had received a COVID-19 vaccine. She didn't explain exactly which one it was, and ended up with impotency and swollen testicles as a result. Now, this tweet was sent out on Tuesday, and it caused a bit of a reaction by health officials around the world, trying to who basically stood up and said, wait, what the hell are you talking about? This has never happened. There's no evidence for this. And so I thought I'd look at kind of the reaction to that and basically examine what it was about Minaj's tweet which rubbed people the wrong way. And that may be obvious, but there are ramifications for tweets and for statements like this by public officials on social media, which I want to do a little bit of a deep dive into later on. But first, let's have a look at the reactions that people, certain health officials made. So in reaction to Minaj's tweet, the Trinidad and Tobago Health Minister, Terence Dale Singh, responded basically saying that there was no evidence that the COVID-19 vaccines caused any of the symptoms that Minaj claimed her cousin's friend actually got, and ended up saying that the Trinidad and Tobago ministry had quote unquote wasted so much time running down this claim, which to me shows does show an impact that if celebrities and stuff like that make these kind of claims on social media, that our health experts and science experts will have to use up some of their limited resources and stuff like that responding to them, because she has such a huge following, and so it does do some damage in that way. More closer to home here in Australia, we had Jim Battery of the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne basically also confirming to the ABC that there was no evidence that COVID vaccines actually caused sexual dysfunction and infertility. Well-known US infectious disease expert Anthony Fauci also responded to what he called the one-off anecdote, basically saying that there was no evidence to back up Minaj's claims, and that it was a resounding no, quote unquote, that COVID-19 vaccines caused swollen testicles. So I think his comment about the one-off anecdote was a good one, because as we should know, science is backed up. It should be based on thorough evidence, not just I heard this from my friends, brothers, sisters, whatever. It should be based on something that's a little bit more thorough than that. And I'm not saying Minaj was lying to people or trying to con people or whatever, but the fact that she's the third link in the chain here, which makes it an even more unreliable source for something like this. And it should be common sense that you shouldn't get your health information from rappers like Nicki Minaj, but here we are. It's 2021. These people have huge followings on social media, and so it's basically, it has to be said that anecdotes like this are not reputable, reliable evidence to back up these kind of scientific claims. So the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention also issued a statement based on Minaj's claims, also saying that there was no evidence. And here in Australia, we had Western Sydney Health saying the same thing, although they basically tweeted on Twitter, we promise to leave the rapping to Nicki Minaj if she leaves the medicine to the doctors and scientists, which I thought was also a good point. You're not going to criticize Minaj for her rapping, or maybe you do, maybe you will if you don't like her music, but you don't criticize a musician if you know nothing about music. Similarly, you don't criticize a scientist or a doctor if you know nothing about science and health, or even if you know very little, because they have spent, rappers like Minaj have spent years and years and years honing their craft. Scientists and doctors have also spent years and years and years honing their craft, and a little bit of research that we can do online through Google and YouTube is never gonna equal what they can do in university and through their various research programs and stuff like that. So yeah, basically this was I thought it was an interesting microcosm of this kind of pseudoscientific misstatements that are made. Sometimes those misstatements are made intentionally. Sometimes they're made just by accident or through ignorance. But I feel there's an important lesson here in the fact that so many health organizations had to jump up and respond to this single anecdote, which was 3 times removed from the initial source, that it just shows that this kind of misinformation spends resources, wastes costs, takes time away from, doctors, scientists, public health officials who are time poor, especially in a situation like we are now. And so people should be more careful, I think, about what they put online, especially if they have such a large following like Minaj does. I think that's it basically for what I've got to say for today. Although one thing maybe I should add is that while there's no evidence that COVID-19 vaccines cause problems with infertility and impotence and stuff like that, there is evidence that COVID-19, the disease itself, does. So there have been studies. One study I can think of by the University of Miami found the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which causes COVID-19, within the testicles of men who had contracted the disease. There's other research that's been put out that shows that the disease itself can cause extreme erectile dysfunction as well. So there is evidence that the disease can cause these problems. There's no evidence that the vaccine can cause these problems. So if you're a guy and you're weighing up the risks or benefits of, do I take the vaccine or do I not? If you're worried about your junk down there, get the vaccine, because if you get COVID, you're more likely to experience problems in the long run. So yeah, I'll wrap it up there, I think. So until next time, keep on being curious, and I'll see you around. Bye.